In the shadows of grand palaces and behind the ancient walls of the British monarchy lies a tale untold until now. Prince Harry, once silent, now speaks out, shaking the foundations of the royal family with a story that threatens to change everything. But as his revelations unfold, the world holds its breath for a royal response that could alter the course of history forever. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. The tale begins long before the public could catch any glimpse of the turmoil bubbling beneath the surface. In the corridors where velvet curtains hide grand hallways and whispering ghosts of the past, a tension brewed, an unspoken rivalry between two princes, Harry and William. Born into a legacy gilded with tradition and duty, they were more than brothers. They were, ostensibly, a united front against the trials of their inherited role. But time and hidden agendas slowly eroded their once inseparable bond. Oh, the smiles at public engagements masked it well, a facade of brotherly love. Yet, behind closed doors, a profound discord thrived, obscured from the prying eyes of the world, yet always humming with a potential for consequence. The catalyst was a truth Prince Harry could no longer keep locked away. It started as a whisper, a nagging realization that gnawed at the edges of his silence until it exploded into a defining moment. The revelations emerged not from spite, but from a need to unburden his soul. What had been but a faint ember of doubt was now a roaring flame of necessity. He would speak, he must speak, an act that not only broke his silence, but also threatened to fracture the image of royal unity. And so began his tale, a chronicle of hidden strains and unseen heartaches begging to be acknowledged. It was a decision that would set the stage for truths long buried in the shadows of grandeur. Behind the pale walls of privilege, the pressures Harry faced were immense, yet shrouded in secrets the monarchy fervently guarded. The weight of tradition bore heavily upon him, with whispers that his path was divergent, his spirit too free for the constraints of royal expectation. His every step seemed to echo with the ghosts of history, and each misstep reverberated with the potential to shake the centuries-old foundation of his family's image. Teasing, he hinted at revelations, darkened by time and tradition, of struggles navigated in silence that demanded to be told, so that the balm of truth may finally be applied. Behind closed doors was more than a phrase, it was a reality for the royal family. There, within the confines of opulent rooms, steeped in monochrome history, the decorum of public life shed its skin and raw tension took its place. Meetings that seemed mundane were residents to bruise laden words and veiled accusations, spaces where familial frictions were laid bare without the camera's piercing lens. It was a world where brotherly alliances were tested, bonds frayed in energetic debates and throaty silences as the weight of the crown lingered overhead, unseen yet profoundly felt. Then came a royal divide so significant it altered not only their relationship, but also the very path of their shared heritage. An interaction, perhaps relayed in a glance or in words tinged with finality, marked their separation. A distance both emotional and physical that left the world speculating. It was a pivotal moment veiled in mystery. The last puzzle piece needed to comprehend their estrangement. A silent agreement, a festering wound ignored, left to whisper its foreboding promise until inevitable confrontation could no longer be postponed. The stakes are immense. Harry's truth looms like a storm on the horizon, casting long and ominous shadows that threaten to engulf the monarchy in their wake. He has set in motion a series of events with monumental implications, questions that beg answers, alliances that demand choice. The future tingles with the electricity of uncertainty, promising a climax that could redefine what it means to be royal. Yet Harry's tale is but one side, a prelude to a much larger discourse, ready to unfurl its secrets and immerse the world in contemplation and anticipation. As Harry's truth begins to unravel, the world anxiously awaits William's response, a reaction that could either mend old wounds or ignite a fiery royal feud. With every monarchy comes secrets, hidden tapestries woven from whispers and words unsaid. Within these gilded halls, Prince Harry's truth threatens to tear apart the royal hushed silences, revealing bitter truths and clandestine clashes unimaginable to the public eye. Beneath the shimmering facade of royalty, the heart-wrenching conflict unfolds. the ceaseless struggle between tradition's heavy hand and the whispered call of one's own soul. Here, traditions are not mere practices but chains of expectations, binding each heir to an enduring yet suffocating legacy. The silent corridors of power echo with the unvoiced yet understood decree, duty above all else. Here, Harry navigates a labyrinth of unspoken rules, masked smiles, and eyes trained to look away from scandal. The grand halls hold their breath, witnessing an unending dance between obligation and personal aspiration. Each step Prince Harry takes breathes life into a tale of inner turmoil, feeding the tensions of loyalty versus individuality. Diving deeper into these hallowed walls, we find Harry caught in a conflict that transcends mere familial discord. It's a rift torn by his very quest for authenticity against the perennial backdrop of royal prerogative. Family or duty, one's heart may whisper solace, but duty's echo resonates louder across the ages. The bonds of blood pull against the iron grip of royal protocol, a dichotomy veiled in grandeur, yet marred by latent sorrow, to meet the gaze of those who birthed and bred you, while balancing the harsh judgment of tradition. Tears at the very fabric of Harry's spirit. It's a choice no throne can alleviate, a yearning no crown can fill, a moment steeped in the bittersweet essence of acceptance and rebellion, bound in a tragic dance destined to leave scars. Inside the innermost sanctum of royal confidence lies the real game, a ghostly chessboard where each move is dictated by counsel whispered behind closed doors. The advisors, regal puppeteers, shape the destiny of princes, imparting wisdom laden with ambitions of their own. Moves calculated, each word crafted. Here, Harry stands as both player and pawn. The inner circle, with its labyrinthine intrigues, weaves unseen nets of influence around the youthful heirs, swaying their paths with deft precision. Neither friend nor adversary, they hold the enigmatic keys to a world forever out of reach. A strategic game cloaked in velvet, where loyalty and manipulation dance hand in hand. In the glaring light of royal scrutiny, why, childhood is an ephemeral concept, twisted and contorted by the weight of destiny. Harry and William, under the bright, unrelenting public eye, have grown amidst a relentless spectacle, a staged childhood where every misstep is amplified by the tabloid frenzy. The gaze of millions watches them, 1,000 expectations burning bright with each fleeting moment of innocence. Their youthful laughter is shadowed by entrenched anticipation, and as they tread the fine line between royalty and reality, future battlegrounds are quietly laid. Harry's one true desire, to hold ownership of his life, becomes a battle cry against an overwhelmingly powerful machine. For Harry, the struggle is not merely external, but fiercely internal. The silent war of identity plays out beneath the royal banners. It is the plight of a prince striving to break free from the shadows of bygone monarchs, eager to forge a path where his voice echoes more than his title. A life charted by others, where dreams are often tempered by decorum, becomes a tightrope teetering over an abyss of self-doubt. He battles demons from within, a determined spirit rebelling against the current of unauthenticity, sparked by a longing unfathomable to those beyond the palace gates. Yet, amidst these gilded trials, Harry hears whispers, subtle betrayals seeping into the cracks of his resolve. A sense of disillusionment emerges, a maelstrom of suspicion and solitude inching ever closer to revelation. Betrayals, both perceived and real, loom large, for nothing within these gold-trimmed bastions is as it seems. Faces familiar now turn into ghostly apparitions, urging Harry toward a truth that might unmask even the sturdiest royal facade. As the weight of royal secrets becomes unbearable, the inevitable fallout looms, leaving viewers questioning what hidden truths will emerge next. With the world tuned in, Prince Harry finally engines his voice, a voice stripped of titles and honours, revealing the man behind the monarchy. His words are more than a narrative, they are a reckoning, echoing with emotional honesty and a fervent plea for understanding. Harry speaks not with the orchestrated eloquence one might expect from a royal, but with raw candour, an unfiltered glimpse into the soul of a prince who refuses to remain an enigma. His revelations are intimate, profound, each word weighted with years of untold stories and buried emotions. It is as though he stands on a precipice, daringly baring his soul, every syllable chiseled from years of silence. In a moment of unguarded vulnerability, Harry recounts sleepless nights, haunted by shadows of loss and expectation. He reveals the staggering weight of a world that never pauses its judgment. Heartstrings tighten as he recalls feeling like a chess piece in a game too vast to understand, moved by unseen hands, destined to play roles pre-written long before his birth. These moments of confession are not simple cries from a walled garden, but agonies screamed into the abyss of tradition. It's the rawness of his voice, the cracks and the hesitation that stitches the audience to his narrative, crafting empathy from his struggles. What pierces through the heart of his account is a cry, fierce and desperate, for freedom. At its core is an elemental longing to breathe beyond the suffocating confines of royal expectations. Harry's words tremble with the yearning for a life that is his own. Each declaration is delivered not as a request, but as a declaration imbued with the resoluteness of a man who has chosen the path less trodden. There's an aching sincerity in his eyes, whispering tales of a soul ensnared by protocol yet driven by a dream of autonomy, a dream bursting from every tear-street utterance of self-discovery. Harry doesn't just speak, he challenges, not standing against the monumental backdrop of tradition's unyielding facade. He questions the very truths that the monarchy holds dear. A courageous path unfolds as he dares to ask, why must one conform to the ancient relics of ceremony? Such defiance, captured in the courage of his voice, reverberates like thunder in the hushed corridors of Buckingham. With every question, he peels away at the veneer of infallibility, exposing the cracks in the foundations laid by generations past. Amidst these probing assertions come confessions, each more heartfelt than the last, each heavy with the gravity of lived experience. Harry takes his audience by the hand, leading them into the most sacred corners of his life, guarded till now like a fragile treasure. Stories of youth shadowed by tragedy, of love found amidst the chaos, and the burden of legacy pressed like a crown of thorns. His honesty unfurls like banners in the wind, unfettered and complete, demonstrating that sometimes the bravest tales are those told without any embellishment. Yet, as Harry's quiet rebellion against expectation unfurls, it becomes clear that this narrative is not just a revelation, but a prelude. Hints of potential discord weave through his admissions, foreshadowing an impending clash between brothers and the age-old institution they inhabit. There lingers the question, palpable, hanging in the charged atmosphere. How will William and the guardians of the crown react to such unrestrained candor? Harry's revelations set a stage robust with tension, a charged moment teetering on the brink of monumental change. But as Harry's words ripple through the realm, the royal court stands poised for a response, one that promises to either heal or irrevocably harm. As Harry's revelations echo through the media and public alike, the palace's doors remain shut, its inhabitants veiled in an enigmatic silence. The monarchy's refusal to engage creates a vacuum, amplifying the tension that grips a nation's heart. Within the quiet corridors of power, there lurks an intriguing spectre, an entity both formidable and fragile, the crown's unyielding silence. The realm watches, every observer now a silent watcher themselves, peering into the thickening shadows cast by the monarchy's refusal to react. This deliberate absence of response stokes a firestorm of intrigue and speculation. The media, thirsting for anything to fill the silence, spins tales as wild as the winds that once shaped this ancient kingdom's shores. And as each day passes without a word, the suspense becomes a living, breathing beast, whose endless hunger cannot be satiated. But beneath this veil of imposed stillness lies a strategic mind at work. Royal strategists, seasoned from years of shadowy battles fought without sword or shield, understand the power embedded in quiet resistance. To remain silent is to command mystery, to let the weight of unanswered questions press down, like a gathering storm on those who seek to tear down the walls of secrecy. Yet, one cannot help but wonder if this silence is a retreat or an orchestrated pause, a calculated gamble in the high-stakes game of public perception. The world watches with bated breath, an audience pulled into this grand performance by the invisible strings of suspense. Questions circle like vultures from every corner of the globe, shaking and reshaping conversations over dinner tables, sparking debates in ivory towers. Is the monarchy's silence wise? or does it signal the cracks in a seemingly impenetrable fortress? As whispers of conspiracy swirl through the ranks of both loyalists and skeptics, the populace remains suspended in a moment stretching between history and uncertainty, awaiting the word that might redraw the map of allegiance. Yet, not all are untroubled in this game where silence screams louder than words. Within the palace, where opulence often conceals the subtle shifts of power, the echoes of fear dart like shadows in candlelight. An unspoken anxiety grips the air, its tendrils snaking through the hearts of those bound by crown and duty. Each day that passes without proclamation thickens the air, as if the walls themselves may buckle under the weight of secrets kept too long, and thus the stage is set for a reckoning, a moment unavoidable in its approach. Pregnant with the promise of revelation and consequence, the palace's strategic pause is a thread stretched dangerously taut, ready to snap at a whisper from the lips of authority. This silence, heavy and profound, will not hold forever. And when it breaks, the fallout will be felt across the land, a wave crashing against the shores of complacency. While the world watches, this quiet endurance morphs into a psychological battlefield. The monarchy's stoic silence becomes a vivid character in the unfolding drama, a spectre that haunts both friend and foe, turning placid days into turbulent nights full of restless dreams and veiled nightmares. It is this silence that drips slowly into the ears of those who listen too closely, echoing with the urgency of a tide that rushes back to sea, leaving only chilled emptiness in its wake. As the suspense tightens its grip, a new confrontation emerges. The stage is set for a clash that promises revelation and reckoning. The silence, as resounding as it is mysterious, heralds a time of newfound choices and inevitable truths, where words may become the weapons in a battle long denied, and histories rewritten with a single echoing cry. Within the heart of England lies a silent storm. Prince William stands at its centre, faced with an impossible choice. His silence speaks volumes as a nation divided by loyalty and truth looks to high M for leadership, and a brother waits for answers only William can give. The weight of centuries bears heavily upon him, the crown's latent potential whispering promises and curses alike. Each morning, as dawn unfurls over the cobbled streets of London, William feels the crown's shadow stretch behind him. 20 generations worth of expectations cascade silently through his thoughts, their voices a cacophony demanding both future foresight and the unity of times past. He stands on the precipice as both heir and brother, the duality of his heart a constant battleground. It is a dance of dichotomy, where the steps sometimes falter, twirling perilously close to chaos. Behind closed doors, William's mind is a tumult. Tradition wraps around him like constricting ivy, reminding him always of the lifetime he has been groomed for. Yet, the threads of familial bonds pull at his soul with equal intensity. Each memory of childhood laughter, shared with Harry, each shared secret in whispered corners, plagues his conscience. Yet this is the same Harry who, by seeking distance, beckons William into a painful, uncharted territory. The internal struggle but lies not only in reconciling duty and kinship, but grappling with the realization that fulfilling one might mean forever losing the other. Beyond palace walls, England murmurs with expectancy and speculation, a country split like fractured glass. Royalists, staunch and unyielding, call for William to remain the embodiment of untainted legacy. Their voices ring with the clarity of old songs, praising tradition's charm. Conversely, the younger generations, with their visions set on progressive horizons, look to him as a potential symbol of change, an icon who could usher in bonds where presently only chains exist. The dichotomy of this allegiance splays across the land, like a line in the sand, the tension palpable in every gleam. Ants, every conversation draped in polite civility but spiced with underlying tension. The kingdom waits, whispering in unison. Where will he stand? For William, this is more than a public spectacle. Behind each choice lies the heart-clenching reality of his own identity crisis. He is a herald of lineage, yet a man peeled away from the simple joys of his youth. Each moment, each choice, builds his bridge or digs his trench. This seismic rift, etched into his role by the divergence with Harry, echoes in his steps, a haunting reminder that his every move is scrutinized under both the loving eye of kin and the unrelenting gaze of tradition. Underneath the grandeur and pageantry, quiet tensions bubble to the surface, born of unsaid words and lingering glances across divided aisles. The palace is a chessboard where every subtle gesture holds the breath of 1,000 anticipations. Old misunderstandings breed new uncertainties, each festering silence, a testament to unresolved pasts. The pageantry of every appearance is undercut by whispers carried on the cold breeze of regal halls. And there is Harry, a brother whose absence reverberates with a silent plea for the restoration of their once unbreakable bond. Amid the slow chants and rallying cries from afar, William hears his brother's distant call, not in words but in the shared memories that surf through his dreams on restless nights. It's a powerful undertone to their saga, one that echoes with hope and softened resolve, threatening to unravel carefully wrought defenses with the simple heartache of a sibling lost to circumstance. As William grapples with his next move, all eyes remain fixated, waiting for a decisive moment that could define the monarchy's future. The nation leans in, breath bated, on the cusp of what might be dignity's greatest restoration or its poignant farewell. After endless anticipation, Prince William breaks his silence. His words are more than a retort. They are a declaration, sparking a firestorm that ignites the heart and soul of a kingdom. Every syllable resonates with the gravity of history and the promise of a new, uncertain future. The moment arrives unannounced, like a storm breaking after oppressive silence. It is at an unassuming podium where Prince William stands, an electrifying anticipation in the air. One can almost sense the collective inhalation of the global audience, tuned in with bated breath. He begins, every word carefully measured, but laden with an undercurrent of raw, unbridled force. These aren't just words, but a tightening tension converted into language. A moment charged with the weight of an era on the brink of transformation. The breaking point emerges, not as a sudden explosion, but a slow crescendo. William's gaze is steady, his voice unfaltering. This is not merely about family, he begins, ushering in a seismic shift in the narrative's tempo. The monarchy stands as a beacon, our history, an intricate tapestry we are all part of. Here, entangled in the strings of tradition and duty, William defends the institution not as a relic, but as a living, breathing symbol of unity. The firmament of the monarchy is coupled with his personal conviction. Each assertion is a thrust into the heart of doubt, a casting aside of years-long silence. In this defense, duty and legacy intertwine with the strands of personal belief, forming a bulwark against a rising tide of skepticism. Yet beneath the regal facade lies a brother's heart, yearning to mend fractures. William's voice catches, the truth of his intentions bare and unadorned. "We are brothers," he implores with a vulnerability that pierces the armor of royalty, a phrase that slices through tension like a knife. It is a plea, a desperate attempt to bridge the widening chasm tearing through familial bonds. The words hang, echoing through the silent chambers of memory, each syllable a step toward reconciliation, even as the path remains uncertain. The immediate repercussions ripple through the air like an allegorical bell tolling. Every proclamation reverberates through the halls of public consciousness, an immediate storm of emotions raging both within the royal walls and outside. The public, the keepers of judgment, react with a spectrum of emotions, from rallying support to vehement dissent. The royal family's fortress, both physical and metaphorical, feels the tremors of this monumental pronouncement, adjustments already weaving into the warp and weft of tradition. Around the globe, William's words send ripples across vast oceans and continental divides, polarizing yet profound. Nations watch, some questioning the very institution he seeks to defend, while others embrace the boldness of his stance. His declaration acts as a seismic jolt to the existing world order, affirming the might of spoken word in an age of unrest and uncertainty. In public forums and private conversations, the globe is agog, a theater of reaction, where discourse and deliberation become the new battlegrounds, and perhaps in the aftermath, nested quietly within the storm, there lies a glimmer of hope. With each word spoken, a possibility of understanding inches forward against a backdrop of uncertainty. The stage is set, viewers poised on an acrobatic taut wire, teetering between the bittersweet possibility of reconciliation and the enduring spectre of estrangement. In the unfolding drama, who's to determine where the pendulum might settle? As the echo of William's words reverberates across the realm, an unpredictable shifting future beckons, a future fraught with the potential for reconciliation or rupture. The discourse has transcended the personal. It is now a battle of narratives played on the world stage. As Harry and William vie for public favour, the clash turns into a strategic chess game, with each move calculated to either mend or further rend royal ties. In this modern arena, the power of media becomes their most formidable weapon. Each prince navigates this landscape with a deft hand, skillfully spinning threads of personal truths into compelling public pleas. Messages are crafted with precision, where one lays bare a history intertwined with pain and resilience. The other forges a secure future by upholding the dignity of tradition. Yet, behind the scenes, shadows of influence loom large. Advisors, once mere whispers in gilded halls, now emerge as pivotal figures in this unfolding drama. Harry, carving his own path, garners the support of those who champion authenticity, while William aligns with stalwart royal custodians, preserving legacy. Layers of strategy build, creating an intricate tapestry of allegiance and ambition. Public sentiment, ever volatile, ebbs and flows with each headline and soundbite. One moment, loyalty swells with the familiar echo of William's stability. The next, it shifts towards Harry's revolutionary verve, fueled by a narrative of breaking chains and new beginnings. The public gaze, fickle yet powerful, holds its breath, weighing each prince against the invisible scales of favour and disfavour. Amidst this tumultuous dance of influence and public opinion lies a heavy burden. The personal cost. Sacrifices once unanticipated emerge with raw clarity, and the crown becomes a lonely weight. For behind the smiles and assurances are brothers, flesh and blood, bound by a shared history, now fractured under the strain of divergent paths. This human cost, often overshadowed by the grand spectacle, serves as a poignant reminder of what is at stake beyond the mere optics of power. As the narrative unfolds, unexpected alliances surface, complicating the royal saga further. Figures long relegated to the sidelines rise, bringing with them histories of their own, histories that ripple through the turbulent waters of royal discourse. Both princes find themselves entwined with allies whose support challenges the conventional. Forces recalibrate, shifting allegiances in unexpected ways. And then there is Harry, the quintessential outsider with the potential to seize the narrative with his outsider appeal. His journey captivates the global audience, appealing to the hearts of those who see change as a beacon of hope. An underdog in a world of tradition and expectation, he emerges as a symbol of triumph, waiting to happen, a possible victor in this carefully orchestrated game of thrones. But as allegiances shift and loyalties waver, the brothers face a concluding confrontation that threatens to redefine what it means to be a royal. As the dust of confrontation settles, a new dawn rises, bright yet tentative, a horizon filled with equal parts uncertainty and aspiration. The brothers, having weathered a storm both public and intimate, find themselves gazing at a future demanding reinvention and grace. Their past, replete with scars that whisper tales of both pain and possibility, offers a reservoir of lessons not soon forgotten. Reflecting on the tumultuous events that have unfolded, Harry and William stand at a crossroads, each armed with insights garnered from their shared and conflicting experiences. These battles, both within the public sphere and behind closed palace doors, have etched deeper grooves into their understanding. An understanding not just of who they are as individuals, but as siblings bound by more than the weighty mantle of royalty. This pivotal moment ushers in the possibility of forgiveness, tentative yet essential. The first steps towards mending fraternal and familial wounds are hesitantly taken, an offering that speaks to a need for healing greater than the sum of their grievances. It's a delicate dance that requires vulnerability as they inch towards a reconciliation that could reshape not only their relationship, but the future paths of those who bear witness. In forging a new narrative, the monarchy itself finds potential for transformation, born from tradition, yet unshackled by it. Harry and William are poised to usher in a new era, a monarchy that embraces modern ideals as seamlessly as it treasures its storied past. This path, one they carve together or apart, promises to blend the ancient with the contemporary, perhaps the most honorable homage to their lineage by embracing innovation and empathy. As they navigate this evolving landscape, their identities too are set to transform. Once defined solely by their titles and responsibilities, Harry and William now confront a broader truth as siblings and individuals. They redefine what it means to wear the royal mantle, balancing their roles as public figures with the more profound, nuanced identities of brothers seeking peace and understanding. In this chapter of public redemption, personal growth and budding understanding suggest new beginnings, symbols of resurgence not only for them, but for an entire institution yearning for revitalization. The world watches with bated breath, eager to witness the fruits of courage and humility. Their journey promises to inspire countless others seeking similar renewal in personal and collective realms. As they stand upon the precipice of possibility, open horizons invite unforeseen opportunities. The journey towards reconciliation and rebirth is laid before them, imbued with the hope and anticipation of a world ready to embrace a rejuvenated royal dynamic. It is a future envisioned through the lens of past learnings and present hopes, a narrative reimagined for an era that celebrates resilience and rebirth. With resolutions still hanging in the balance, the world turns the page, eager for what the next chapter holds. A chapter promising resurgence, remembrance, and renewal.